Hey, welcome Strat fans. It's me, Colonel Strat, the Strategy Extraordinaire. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so apologize for my voice, but today I'm proud to show you the culmination of all of my strategies to where I combine them all together, and I call it Combined Arms. This will be a culmination of how I effectively use these strategies all together in a faction like the Empire or Cathay, or any faction that has multiple good units for different strats like Hammer and Anvil or Shield Wall or Focus Fire. All of those strats will be combined into one with this tactic. Not that my tactic series will stop, but this will be probably the last one for a while because I will be replacing it with another series. So I hope you guys enjoy this one, and remember as always to leave a like down below. Maybe check me a comment down below, tell me how I'm doing. Give me your sub too if you like that. I hope you guys enjoy this one, and let's get right into showing you these tactics. Alright, and here we are with our battle. Now, a lot of times terrain can be the deciding factor on what tactics you're going to use. Such as with this terrain, we can easily set some guys up on the heights here to do some extra damage and use the high ground to our advantage while we bottle the enemy into here. But that doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the enemy might try to go through the choke points up here. So you want to keep some units up here to try to keep these units secure, or they might get through and funnel behind the bottleneck and ruin your plan. So again, we have them positioned up here a little bit, and instead of 5 handgunners, we removed one and got a steam tank so we can support both sides here. So we have our Hellblasters up here and our steam tank up here. They should perform a lot better than they did in the last one because the Hellblasters weren't really being used, but now they're going to be used really well. So let's get into the battle, see what the Norskins do. Alright, we might have to go out and entice the Norskins into attacking us, which is not going to be ideal. Might just be something we have to do. Alright, let's move these guys up then so we can fire at them. Maybe we'll get right within their range. There we go. Now we're going to be able to open fire on them. The Norskins will funnel most of their troops through the bottleneck here, which should help us, but some of them are going to go on the sides, which again, you should be able to deal with. Keeping most of their units there in the bottleneck is going to be a bad decision on their part, so they're going to take a lot of casualties doing that. And of course, we'll want to look out for the big units, like that elephant, and all the big units that could cause us some problems. The ice trolls, the Norskin trolls, all that stuff. Alright, we're doing pretty good having them just pick their targets, but we will eventually want to try to keep them to attacking a blob. Now the Hellblasters are doing their work. They're doing their darndest. There we go. Oh, that Luminarch does a whole lot of damage to them. As you see, we have the handgunners here. I'll get them back here so they can do more damage. And now we've completely destroyed them. We get these guys down here to do some flanking. And boom. But sometimes the terrain doesn't actually go as good as you thought. Like right here, thought it would be good terrain, ended up being not so good terrain. But now we can send these guys into the back to do some hammer and anvil, aid our melee line, as well as have these guys go in the back too. Start shooting in the back and hitting our melee line. With Carl getting all of his supercharged greatness in. And there we go. We've successfully outsmarted the enemy and lured them into a trap. You don't get these options that much, but when you do, they're really good. You know, we just completely decimated them, didn't lose that many units all around. Again, that's how line tactics can be used really well. You use the high ground, position your units accordingly, and you were able to draw in the enemy good units, take them out, and then mop up the trash. These two scenarios are one of many that you'll see throughout your campaign, and I hope you guys use all of my tactics to your best abilities. You gotta look out for your openings. I urge all of you guys to pay attention to your surroundings and make the best tactical play due to your surroundings there. And then you'll end up with victories like this. Alright, here's a perfect example for combined arms tactics. So what we'll take is this end-tier army for the Empire. So we have a great swords units in the front, performing the shield wall. Even though they don't have a shield for the Empire, they still work pretty well for this tactic. Pretty much forming the buffer to our artillery in the back that are going to do focus fire on enemy special units with a Luminarch of Heesh as well. And our handgunners in the front will fall back and do the old strategic retreat behavior right behind our melee line as the enemy gets close, firing off their shells as they get close. And then of course we have our Demigryph Knights on the sides that'll be able to go around and do some hammer and anvil on the enemy as they come in here. And we have a Norscan force attacking us that's comprised primarily of infantry with a little bit of monsters, so we're going to be able to take them out pretty well. And we have Karl flying up here in Deathwing. He's going to be able to support them as well as go and snipe some heavy monsters and do some damage. So let's get right onto the battle, and I'll show you how we combine all these tactics in one to really have a really cohesive experience of Total War. Alright, so we want to watch out for the enemies coming around the glacier here. They might slow down some of our Demigryph Knights here, but we're having the rocket batteries do their thing. We want to focus on taking out those guys, and we will want to focus the Luminarch on the feral mammoths. The handgunners can focus on the other things right now if they want to, but we will want to focus on the other stuff. Manticore, let's take him out with Karl. That's a problem. Get them out of there so we can focus on the feral mammoth. Yeah, he's going after the Luminarch, so we gotta get him. There we go. There we go. Alright. Focus on that. Focus on that. The Manticore's dead. We send Karl around here to help with the enemy. Very good. We want to use focus fire with the handgunners to do a lot of damage to the enemy, as well as having the Luminarch focus fire on the enemy too. These big enemies, that makes it really easy to deal with them. And then we get these Demigryph Knights to do some hammer and anvil. We have our great swords here. These Demigryph Knights did well. Let's do some hammer and anvil on these Marauders here. Gonna be doing really well. And there we go. That deals with that feral mammoth. We have the artillery deal some damage on the retreating units. Focus handgunners on the hero. And there we go. That's pretty much all of them taken care of. And it's just as easy as that, my friends, to use some combined arms tactics. You gotta try to think in the moment. That way you can get to where you need to be, take them out, keep your line in tow, deal with those heavy units, as well as you let them retreat. You have some heavy artillery that's able to get them as they're retreating too, which is just going to mean that they have less troops in the end screen, so that when it's all said and done, they bring less troops out of the battle and you bring more in. So that's pretty much all there is to take with combined arms. You just got to try to look for your opening and try to think on the fly. It requires a lot of skill and a lot of situational awareness, but if you do it right, you can get outcomes like this where you didn't lose any units, you took minimal casualties. I mean, some of our great swords took a lot of casualties, but that's just because the enemy mammoths were throwing them around. We didn't have much else to do, but we were able to punch them down and do a lot of damage. So I thank all you Strat fans for sticking through this combined arms showcase. I hope you guys used all of my tactics to your advantage and you learned when to use them, when to look for those openings and punch through those holes, when to use hammer and anvil, when to use shield wall, when to focus fire and what units are deserving of focus firing, and how much of a difference it makes in your game plan to be able to focus fire certain units and deal with the enemy trash lines. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. As always, remember to sub to Colonel Strat if you enjoy these tactics videos. More are coming, and like I said, be on the lookout for that new series coming in that will start to go hand in hand with tactics. More tactics will be coming, but as I look at my book, I'm going to need some more time to get them worked out and work out all the kinks. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. As always, remember to keep it strategic, Strat fans. Colonel out.